Recently, more and more information has been coming in that the medicines and medical drugs taken by people who have decided to change their gender, some are for a different gender, others for the ceiling. Maybe there is something that leads to fits of hatred, thirst, revenge, and searching for someone to blame. They are called transgender people. And before, they only made me feel surprise and, in a way, pity. Today, they make me feel bewilderment, a desire to step away from there.
The Ministry of Justice is considering ways to prevent transgender people from buying weapons. According to several reports, this news came a week after a deadly school shooting in Minneapolis. The suspect in that shooting was transgender. Reports say Ministry of Justice officials are considering several options. But a ban on gun purchases for an entire group of Americans could be difficult to implement or even illegal.
Honestly, we were told about one incident, but they forgot to mention the others.
On Wednesday morning,
at about 8:30 a.m., 23-year-old Robin Vestman fired through the stained glass windows of Annunciation Catholic Church during a school mass with many children present.
In a post on X, political commentator Nick Soder wrote, quote, Robin Vestman, formerly Robert Vestman, the shooter at the Minneapolis Catholic School, was a man who identified as a woman.
In Minneapolis, the unhinged son of immigrants, Robert Vestman, wrote on social media in both Russian and English. In a message to his parents, he said that it was not them, but the world that was to blame for his feeling the need to kill.
the Voice says that they
apologize to their family, but not the children.
Then Vestman allegedly tells his parents not to blame themselves for the shooting, writing, quote, "The world ruined me, and I learned to hate what life is."
It is also written that they were depressed and had suicidal thoughts for many years.
Vestman also thought he had lung cancer and did not want to die in a hospital.
Vestman repeatedly pierces a church drawing saying, "I am not Swambaiteripo."
The video also shows bullets and weapons on the bed with such inscriptions.
Some include hate, where is your God, names of former school shooters, kill pedophiles, kill Trump, burn Israel, nuclear strike on India. These are just a few.
Kill Trump, burn Israel, and for some reason drop an atomic bomb on India.
Wednesday morning, August 28th, 2 children aged 8 and 10 were killed and 17 more people were injured. Robin targeted the first Mass of the year at his former Catholic school because he wanted to kill as many children as possible, according to the chilling detailed notes he wrote. The Minneapolis police chief reported that the shooter fired 116 shots from a rifle into the church. Which authorities? The children are carefully studying video recordings and the shooter's movements to find out what might have prompted 23-year-old Robin Vestman to open fire through the stained glass windows. When the children were celebrating Mass during the first week of classes.
But the main thing in his recordings is what he put right before the shooting started. Shooting.
According to reports, Vestman said that the trance was exhausting and expressed regret about the decision in the chilling manifesto, shooting.
He demanded to be changed from a man to a woman, and his parents agreed. But over time, he realized that he had ruined his life. And as always, he didn't blame himself, but the world. The world was to blame, and he began to take revenge on this world, especially the children whose lives were still ahead of them.
3 children and 3 adults were shot, yes, killed.
Yesterday at a Nashville elementary school, the suspect, 28-year-old Audrey Hale, was also shot by the police. Hale is transgender and a former student of Covenant, a private Presbyterian school.
Meanwhile, this morning on cable news network, national security analyst Juliet KM urged viewers not to focus on gender identity. Shooter, what is it?
Mean. Not paying attention to whether it's a man or a woman, what does it mean?
But this case has an additional feature since it's one of the few, I think. There have only been 4 mass shootings reported that involved a person with a non-traditional gender identity.
The host just said that there were only 4 previous cases, but now, by the way, there are already 6. Plus, it seems that Charlie Kirk is also calling the killer a transgender person. There have only been 4 mass murders committed by transgender people, only 4. The Biden administration claimed that in the United States, 5,000 children and teenagers were receiving medical drugs for their transition. I don't know, like moving them from one gender to another. Out of these, 5,007, as we already know, shot into crowds. That's 0.14% of all transgender people who take something that you and I and our children don't take. And for some reason, it seems to show up in them. And it causes this 0.14%. Seems like a low percentage, right? During this time, an additional 10 teenagers joined them. Well, those who didn't change their gender, so there were 6 of them, and now there are 7, and these 10, yes, tried to shoot at the crowd. In the United States, more than 20 million children and teenagers do not receive these medications. I mean, 10 mass murderers make up 0.0000.0000014% of that number, and those who are on medication make up 0.14 without the 4 zeros in between. So if your child is taking something given to them by those filthy creatures in white coats to change them, changing him to her or vice versa. For example, he or she is 10,000 times more likely to become a mass murderer. 10,000 times more likely. Plus to that, plus to those 7, there were also those who simply didn't make it to school, and that's why they didn't kill the people they hated. Alex Yo. Before that, he was called Andre, and he was her. He was stopped while preparing for a mass murder. He and she wrote a 129-page manifesto where they wrote, "I want to shoot everyone at school." So, in reality, there are more of them than just 0.14%, maybe a lot more, maybe even everyone. Or maybe it's not because of the medication. Maybe it's self-hatred, the desire to get rid of yourself. What is the desire to change your gender? Yes, to change, to remake yourself because you feel bad. It comes up at the same time as hatred for everyone around you who is living. Well, that's how it looks, yes, like a calm, happy life. To punish yourself, well, ending your life by suicide means admitting that the problem is with you. It's easier. It's always easier to hate, which means wanting to cause grief and pain to others. Thank you. And now let's return to the tragedy that struck Veszprém, America. Just recently, the murder of Charlie Kirk, 31 years old. An extremely popular, talented, well, let's call him a promoter of the American way of life, American morals, common sense, a promoter of common sense. That's probably the most accurate way to put it. He was killed by a sniper rifle during his debate at a student rally at the University of Utah.
The deadly ammunition inside the rifle may have been engraved with messages of transgender and anti-fascist ideology. This was reported by the Wall Street Journal.
Of course, some time ago, the FBI also may have expressed optimism in finding the killer who murdered Charlie Kirk when he was at a rally in Utah.
Earlier today,
the FBI reported and the Wall Street Journal published an article that everything indicates the shooter was transgender. And apparently Antifa, an anti-fascist, supposedly yes, which immediately brings to mind the Democratic Party of the United States, whose militarized wing was Antifa and Black Lives Matter. In one group there were whites, meaning trained bandits, in the other blacks. I don't even know why they were separated, but they were basically being taught the same thing. Well, except maybe for the hatred of whites towards blacks, and blacks towards whites. I don't know if that's how it was or not. This hatred was always being stirred up among us. It seems like transgender people hate all of us who, from their point of view, don't have any problems. But they hated Charlie even more than the others. And here's why.
I'm a queer person, and I know there are a lot of things you won't agree with me on. I think it's important to discuss topics, not just argue, so I agree.
Can I ask something? When I was young, calling someone queer was an insult. Can you explain what it means? I'm genuinely curious.
How is that different from just saying you're lesbian, bisexual, or gay?
So it can be different for everyone because gender and sexuality are a spectrum, just like everything else.
Personally, I like everyone. No, but what does queer mean?
Queer? It's just a label. What does it mean?
It's like, it's different for everyone. Okay, yeah, no, I know, but that's not... I hear people talk about it. Oh my god, it's... No, I just want a definition. I want a definition. I'm serious. I'm not trying to catch you out. I mean it.
When I was growing up, calling someone queer got me in trouble. Just give me a definition.
Yeah, so queer is just what you identify with in terms of your sexuality. It can also be related to gender.
Right, but how do you know when you reach queer? What is it like?
Can you give me...
Telling someone anyone can be doesn't explain what it is. That makes sense. It's like saying you become an adult when you feel like an adult.
I mean, you need to say that there's something objective. I'm glad everyone is having so much fun with this.
They're laughing because we're trying. I'm trying to understand what it means. When someone says queer, it means nothing to me.
Yeah, that's why. What's the point of debates? M for...
Speak, argue back.
So I think, yes, it's literally just identity, right? But what kind of identity is it?
For example, if I said I was a conservative, here's what that means. A conservative supports small government, strong borders, American exceptionalism, and the Constitution. How would you define queer so someone could recognize it? How do you connect the dots?
So... I'm gay, right? Okay, no, that's fine. So what's the difference between gay and queer then?
I don't know what's going on.
Oh, the whole point is that it means something different for everyone. No, I understand.
So, how is gay different from queer?
Next person.
These kids are not inherently evil. They are not the root of the problem. No, they are not. They are a reflection of the garbage they are fed day after day. They're professors driven by an agenda. Literally, ladies and gentlemen, they were shaped by an education system that no longer teaches how to think, but teaches
what to think. Well, look, don't throw away even a small piece, even if it's really disgusting, because you need to know the disgusting things too.
I want to be black and I will identify myself as black. Will you accept that?
If you really believe that, I can't say anything to you. I don't know what's in your head.
Would you seriously say to me, yes, you are black?
If you believe that you are black, I won't argue with you.
You'd go around saying, I'm your black friend.
If that's what you want, yeah.
Oh, come on, guys. No, you wouldn't do that. Seriously, no, you wouldn't. If we could be anyone, would you just say, hi, Mom, I'm bringing my black friend to dinner, and then we all pretend I'm black?
If that's who you believe you are and what you believe in, I'm not going to tell you otherwise.
If I identified myself as black, would you affirm that and call me black?
No, why not? Because you're not black.
Thank you. Oh god, okay, if I said I was a man and I identify as a man, would you accept that and affirm me in that?
What is a woman?
A woman is a powerful being.
Well, an eagle is a powerful being and so is a lion, but they aren't women.
A woman is simply beautiful.
I agree some women are beautiful, but how can you tell they're women?
How does anyone know who they really are?
Do you think we might not know? We can't tell if we're women or men.
Is it in your mind what you believe? I'm not teasing.
If someone believed they were a woman, what would they believe?
They would believe they were born to be themselves.
Okay, do you think there's any component of femininity that's connected to your body?
Is there any component in your body, in your DNA, or in the way you are genetically and scientifically made that makes a woman a woman?
I think that's wonderful. Their brains are so scrambled that they can't tell a woman from a man, or black skin from brown, or even from white. And they can't admit that men have a prostate and women, let's say, have a uterus, that women have developed mammary glands, and men have more testosterone. So this is what they call their science. Yeah, on the same level as when they tell us about global warming and the role of humans in climate change. But do you think it's only these painted ones who don't know or just pretend not to know? What about the Supreme Court judge, Ketanji Jackson, whom Biden brought in and appointed to the Supreme Court? Senator Marsha Blackburn asked her during the hearings, "By the way, define a woman. You just said, 'I'm a woman.' What did you mean by that?" So Marsha is very cunning. The fox never asks just for no reason.
Can you provide a definition for the word woman? Can you give a definition for the word woman? You can.
I can give a definition. Yes. I can't. You can't.
No, in this context, I'm not a squirrel. Okay. So, you think that the meaning of the word woman is so unclear and controversial that you can't give me a definition, Senator? In my work as a judge, I resolve disputes.
If there is a dispute about a definition, people present arguments, and I look at the law and make a decision.
So I don't... The fact that you can't give me a direct answer to such a fundamental question as what is a woman highlights the dangers of progressive education. So yesterday, when answering Senator Blackburn's questions, you told her that you couldn't give a definition of what a woman is, that you're not a biologist.
I think you're the only Supreme Court nominee in history who couldn't answer the question of what a woman is.
Allow me to ask you as a judge.
How would you determine if a plaintiff has standing under Article 3 to challenge rules, regulations, or policies based on gender if you can't define what a woman is? So, Senator, I know that I am a woman, and I know that Senator Blackburn is a woman.
And the woman I admire most in the world who is here in the room today is my mother. It sounded like...
Well, but let me ask. According to modern leftist views, if...
I'm deciding right now that I'm a woman, so that means I'm a woman.
That means I will have the right under Article 3 to challenge the gender restriction. Senator, if you're asking me who has the ability to file lawsuits based on gender, such questions are considered in court, and I can't comment on them.
That's it. Nothing else is needed for the question, and who are the judges? So, who are our judges, ladies and gentlemen? There will be a sponsorship link below in the description. It's $4 a month, and you'll really help the channel. Thank you in advance. Also, my book Capitalism 101 is available for free at the link, as well as a subscription to the video project Roadmap to Freedom. This is funded by the nonprofit organization Science of Freedom Foundation. Thank you for listening, and I hope we'll meet again soon.